Yo, what is going on, everyone? It is Kyle here from Speedbets, bringing you guys the UFC 312 full card breakdown. Now, if you tuned in last week, you would see the absolute work we're putting in. I think we got two fights wrong on the entire card. One of them was Izzy, and the other one was Vinicius Oliveira. Don't worry, guys, I made up for that in the Discord. I had a live bet go out on Oliveira at plus 100 after the second round. Freest shit of my life. I don't know how anyone wouldn't have bet that. But another thing, I just need to show you the success we've been having, especially last week. I mean, guys, look at this work we put in over the weekend right here. Right here, we did a little two-man. We're using the chalkboard boost. Only $10 on these slips. They're paying out $50. Insane over there. Right here's the live bet on Oliveira. It's a little bit less than plus 100. Sorry, I think it corrected to like minus 110, minus 115. Then we had a two-team parlay. We had a Hamdi over. We had Lucas Alexander over 1.5. Barely cashed that one. That was a little scary, but Terrence McKinney to win in round one. That's about as easy as they come. Right here, we had Terrence McKinney under 1.5. We had Jasmine moneyline free. Far as Zion, we got him at plus 220. I did the early card breakdown like a month and a half ago for you guys. I told you to pick Zion then at plus 200. We put just half a unit on him, $25 at plus 220. He came through very easily, 30-27'd him. Hamdi, this fight, I'm not going to lie, was very, very close. I can see the argument for Hamdi. I can see the argument for Jamal Pogues. I personally had a 2-1 Pogues, but I'm not going to complain about a plus 120 underdog coming through for us. It's hard to judge a fight when both fighters are doing nothing. I mean, Pogues did absolutely nothing the whole fight. And then right here, these are the free YouTube parlays. Gave both these out in the YouTube video. Told you guys to bet these. We had half a unit on each. They paid out about $50 each. And then right here, we had MVP at plus 150. Again, another underdog we had. Called it in the video. Called it at early predictions, everything. Just a little like $5 two-teamer here on two decision props came through for us. And I mean, we're doing hockey, basketball. Like it's everything in here. We're having a lot of success. I'm sending out all these plays, all these bets every single day in the Discord. I do more than just UFC. But UFC is the bread and butter. I mean, everyone's cashing out. It's crazy in here. But I'll stop yapping about that. And let's get right into this card, man. Dricus du Plessis taking on Sean Strickland in the rematch. Not a lot of people are too excited to see this rematch. I feel like we kind of know how it's going to go, but I'm still excited to see it. I want to see how it goes this time, see if the first one was a fluke or if the first one was really just how it is. Opening up the card, we have Naiman Jargal Tumen Dembaral. I actually nailed that pronunciation. That's crazy. Taking on Hun Sung Park. Now, these two guys are two very, very unproven contenders, but I am going to say this. Tumen Dembaral had a very competitive fight with Carlos Hernandez. That was a fight. I saw some people scoring it for Tumen Dembaral. I had Carlos Hernandez winning that 2-1. Although very, very competitive fight. He dropped him. He had a lot of power, like I said he would in the video. He's going to come forward. He's going to want the fight on the feet, and he's going to land bombs. He got a little overzealous maybe for the finish in that early round, and it kind of cost him later in the fight. Now, Hung Sung Park, this guy is so unproven. His best win is Shannon Ross. Shannon Ross, not someone that you really think about when you want to talk about a good win. I mean, no disrespect to Shannon Ross. He'd beat the brakes off me, but 0-3 in the UFC. Lost to some pretty bad fighters. I mean, Vinicius Salvador, Cledson Rodriguez, Jesus Aguilar, Hung Sung Park. He doesn't even have a good loss. It's just, I don't know, man. It's hard for me to back a guy whose best piece of work is against Shannon Ross. I feel like a lot of people might knock Shannon Ross out. So for this fight, I'm going to go with the more dangerous guy, the guy that I think is going to be able to dictate where the fight goes. He's dealt with the grappling pressure from Carlos Hernandez. He's going to do a little bit better here against Park. And I think Tumen Dembaral is going to get this one done by knockout. Give me the 2-1 dog to open the night. All right, next fight up, we have Quinlan Salkild taking on Anshul Jubilee. Guys, do not click off the video. I'm dead serious. I swear. I'm picking Anshul Jubilee to win this fight. Not a lot of confidence. Not like basically little to no confidence in this pick. I'm probably not going to bet a ton on this if I bet it at all. But I think Jubilee can get it done. I think Jubilee in his last fight, everyone is overlooking this guy because he lost to Mike Breeden. I agree, that is a horrendous loss. You should never be getting finished by Mike Breeden. But Mike Breeden also missed weight. The reason he was able to turn it on late is because he had the cardio. Even DC was saying on the commentary, those last 3 pounds, because Mike Breeden missed weight by 3 pounds, those are the hardest to cut. That's where you're going to really make yourself into a fighter. You have to fight through those last 3 pounds. Jubilee did that. Breeden didn't. Breeden had a better chin because of it. Breeden had more cardio because of it. And I think that Jubilee, although he was getting hit, I'm not going to lie to you, he was getting hit. I think he can hold his own in the grappling. Quinlan in the Contender Series fight, this guy didn't do anything besides circle the cage. Looked like he was trying to be Israel Adesanya. Every time this guy had success in that Contender Series fight, it's when he stepped forward and he just kept throwing head kicks for some reason. They weren't really working. He wasn't doing a whole lot. He just kept getting pushed against the cage, and that's just how it was. Anshul Jubilee, yes, he did get hit a lot by Mike Breeden. Does Mike Breeden have the most power? No. Does Jubilee have the most power? No. I don't think Jubilee's going to knock out Sal Killed, but I think he can put the volume on him, and I think Anshul Jubilee, can get takedowns on Sal Killed. I have a feeling Sal Killed's going to accept bottom with his jiu-jitsu game. I think Jubilee's going to be the one to shoot first. I think Jubilee's going to get a takedown. The bare minimum, I'm taking Jubilee plus 3.5. I don't think he's going to get finished by Sal Killed. I think there's a chance he loses this fight. I'm not going to lie. A pretty good chance Jubilee loses this fight. He's being set up to lose. Enemy territory. The UFC just are mad at him for the last performance. It is what it is. But I'm gonna say Jubilee can get it done 2-1. This is a very bold pick. I'm probably the only person on the internet actually picking Jubilee. But I really do think he can get it done. I think his first fight was just an unfortunate circumstance. The lights were too bright. He wasn't ready. Going against a guy who missed weight, who had nothing to fucking fight for. And that's just how it was, man. Give me Jubilee by decision. And we have Kevin Jousset taking on Jonathan Mikalev. Now, I think Kevin Jousset is going to walk away with this one. That's not because I think Kevin Jousset is a good fighter. I'm not high on this guy one bit whatsoever. I think he's pretty trash. I think he's going to crumble to pressure the same way he crumbled to Brian Battle. But I don't trust Mikalev to put that pressure on him. I think that Kevin Jousset has just enough to get it done. I think he's going to stuff the takedowns. He does have good judo, which can deny the takedowns. If you go in for a single leg on him, you're going to go for a ride. And Jonathan Mikalev, his Contender Series fight, it didn't really impress me too much. I think I picked him going against Muhammad Adu. I mean, he got it done, yes, but there were moments. I'm not going to say it was a flawless performance. And then, I don't know, I just think Jousset can get this one done a lot more ways than Mikalev can. I think Kevin Jousset has the takedown defense and the ability to strike, whereas I don't think Mikalev can really strike. I don't trust this guy on the feet at all. Was he going to take down Kevin Jousset? I haven't seen Kevin Jousset really get taken down. So this one's pretty straightforward to me. Give me Kevin Jousset by decision. All right, I'm sorry, guys. This is actually the next day I'm recording the second half of the video here. I didn't realize I was running late for my jiu-jitsu class. Got home. I was fucking tired, so I had to go to bed, wake up early next morning. We're getting it done. Next fight up, we have Rong Zhu taking on Cody Steele. Cody Steele's a little bit of a unique situation. His original Contender Series fight, he was supposed to fight the guy that gave Alex Pereira his first loss or whatever, and then that guy just decided he didn't want to fight anymore on the night of the fight. They gave him a replacement fight. He obviously wins that one pretty easily. The guy didn't really have a chance on super short notice. Cody Steele has done some like grappling stuff for the UFC Fight Pass, and Fight Pass is pushing him like crazy. Like, I'm doing tape study on Fight Pass looking for all this, and there's like banners on the top saying watch Cody Steele fight at UFC 312. I haven't really seen this like level of promotion for a fighter who's not even like a UFC fighter yet, so I don't know. It's kind of weird to see. It's supposed to be a relatively safe debut. I mean, Rong Zhu doesn't really have the best record, but what I will say is this guy has experience, and he has a fucking lot. 25-6 as a professional, and this guy is only 24. I mean, he's about to turn 25 like next month, but still 25 years old. He has all of those fights. Cody Steele, he's 5 years older, and he has 7 fights professionally. 7-0, obviously, but I don't trust the competition that Cody Steele's fighting. I don't think that his Contender Series fight was necessarily like a real test of his skill. I think that was a short notice guy. And then I think the rest of them, they're not good. They aren't like horrible. He's not out there fighting like these Khabib level opponents where they're just like 6-92. That Alexandre Topuria kind of opponent, we'll get to him in a little bit, don't worry. But I just don't know. I can't trust it. Rong Zhu, this guy's got some serious pop. He's got some serious power. I trust that he's been training the striking. Against Chris Padilla, he won that first round. We picked Chris Padilla as an underdog. He came through for us with that elbow that swelled up the eye. But, dude, I was a little bit worried. Rong Zhu was looking really good. He won that first round. Chris Padilla was coming back. He was winning the second round. The third round would have been interesting to see had the eye not swollen up. But I do think Rong Zhu can do some damage here. I think he's going to have more pop in his hands. I think he's going to stuff the takedowns. Cody Steele telegraphs his shit. That Contender Series fight, he didn't look good. I'm going to be 100% honest. He didn't look good. I think Rong Zhu has way more experience. He's been there. He's done that. He's going to land the more powerful shots. He might even drop Cody Steele once. Give me Rong Zhu by decision. Next up, we have two guys, no profile pictures. Colby Thickness taking this fight on super short notice, taking on Alexandre Topuria. I'm not going to waste your time and go through the whole Volk Topuria thing. We all got that. We all understand that. Topuria here, I'm not going to lie, his record is a little concerning. Obviously, he only has one professional loss. But, man, you got to look at these fights. Against the guy that was 0-3, 1-1, 7-18, 1-9. Really? I mean, you should be winning these fights. He fought Ivo Ivanov. That's the fight where he took his loss. He got TKO'd in the third. I mean, that guy was juiced out of his fucking mind. You can find that fight on YouTube. I would say go watch that fight. That guy was not natural. I mean, and Topuria, he did show some good strength when he hung out on the single leg way too long. But I mean, he's just 2015. That was 10 years ago, and he showed some strength. He showed some grit, but he just didn't have what it takes to get it done there. But I do think he's made improvements clearly. I mean, the fights we're seeing, albeit it is from over a year ago, but he looked a lot better. He looked a lot more improved. I'm a little sad Cody Haddon fell out. I had a big bet on Cody Haddon. I think he was going to smoke Topuria. Cody Haddon's just a G. Kobe Thickness, he has that kind of weird plotty striking stance. He looks like he's trying to imitate the Volkanovski striking stance, but it just doesn't work for him because of his build. He's way better when he gets on the inside. He's wrestling. He wants to get the takedowns, work the ground and pound. And I don't know. I don't see this working out for him too well. I understand he trains the best. That doesn't always matter if you don't have the natural talent to make up for it. And that's not a diss on Kobe. He would beat the absolute brakes off me. Again, when I'm talking about these fighters, this is just from a guy who looks at fights and studies fights. I pretty much live watching and studying the UFC, making these predictions, doing my bets and stuff. Like, I know how to objectively look and break down a fight. It doesn't mean I can do it. Everyone in the UFC would beat the shit out of me. But I just think Topuria is way more skilled than Thickness. I think he has the notice for the fight. He's been in training camp. And I think he's going to get it done probably by knockout in the first round. Next up, we have Wang Kong taking on Bruno Brazil, and this fight's very easy to me. A lot of people are hopping off the Wang gang train. Wang Kong's going to knock the fucking lights off of Bruno Brazil. I don't think Bruno Brazil's good at all. I mean, her last fight, everyone's getting fooled. She beat the shit out of Molly McCann. Are we forgetting that Molly McCann lost to statistically the worst fighter in the UFC? Going into her fight against Molly McCann, Julia Stoliarenko was 1-5 in the promotion. Her contract's about to be over. Everybody and their mom knows that all this girl can do is throw an armbar. And what does Molly McCann do? Oh yeah, let me follow you to the fucking ground. Let's get armbarred. Every single one of her wins, besides one, is an armbar. What are we doing? Molly McCann isn't good. Molly McCann was never good. People were like, oh, the move to 115 is going to be so good. She looks in great shape. It doesn't matter if you're not a good fighter. Molly McCann isn't good. Bruno Brazil beat the shit out of her. Almost finished her with body kicks. Bruno Brazil still isn't good. She's going up in weight now. Wang just hits a lot harder. I think Wang's going to knock her out probably the first or second round. I don't think this fight's going to be close. The grappling's going to get tested. I do believe Bruno Brazil's going to shoot takedowns. Wang Kong's going to stuff those and just piece her up on the feet. She got a little over cocky in her last fight. It's not going to happen again. Give me Wang by knockout. Next up, Tom Nolan taking on Vyacheslav Borashev. And that's why I'm going with Tom Nolan. I think Tom Nolan, not the better kickboxer. I would like to say that, but this is not a kickboxing fight. You got to think about this. How does Vyacheslav lose? He loses when people mix in the grappling or at least threaten the grappling. I think if Tom Nolan has any game plan at all, he's going to reach for the feet, make connections in that first minute and a half of the fight. The second you do that, the fight is yours. If he grabs Vyashlav's leg, he pushes him against the cage, he shows that he's trying for takedowns super early in this fight, Vyacheslav cannot afford to keep his hands up as high as he likes to. When he's in a pure striking fight like against James Lontop, his hands are high, he's not getting hit hard, he's not going to get dropped. The second you reach for the legs, Chase Hooper showed it. Vyacheslav was terrified of the takedowns, and look what happened. Chase Hooper with a big overhand right dropped Vyacheslav. Chase Hooper's not a striker. Chase Hooper doesn't carry power. I do have to admit, though, Vyashlav's recovery, his just durability, his relentlessness, I don't even think he tapped to Chase Hooper. I think that fight was prematurely stopped. Was he going to win the fight? No. But I don't think that he tapped to that. Was that the Darce choke, the Anaconda, something like that? I don't think he tapped out. It didn't look like he did to me. Then he had that draw against Nazim Sadikov. Showed some issues there, I'm not going to lie, but nothing too crazy. Again, lost to Mark D. Casey, Mike Davis. They wrestled him. If you want to beat Vyacheslav, generally the path of least resistance is to wrestle. I don't expect Tom Nolan to wrestle, but I think he can show that early in the fight, and it's going to open up the hands upstairs. Give me Tom Nolan by a round 2 knockout. Then we have Jack Jenkins taking on Gabriel Santos. This one's super simple to me. Gabriel Santos all day. I think Gabriel Santos is going to do whatever he wants to Jack Jenkins. He's going to mix in the wrestling. I think he's got superior striking. He's got more power. The only advantage Jack Jenkins has is the leg kicks. But guess what? Gabriel Santos is always moving. He's always bouncing. He's switching stances. He's changing levels. The leg kicks are going to work against a guy that's just a boxer. Gabriel Santos is not going to let that happen. Yes, the leg kicks are going to land. That's Jack Jenkins' best tool. He'd be stupid not to use it, but I don't think it's going to matter. It's not going to do enough to change the outcome of this fight. Give me Gabriel Santos by decision. I just think he's going to take Jack Jenkins down. Herbert Burns was taking him down. You can't have me picking Jack Jenkins after he looked terrible against Herbert Burns. Now this fight right here is a little interesting. We have Francisco Prado going up in weight to take on Jake Matthews, kind of an established UFC veteran. This guy's been in the UFC probably longer than I've been alive. I mean, this guy's 30 years old. He has 20 UFC fights. At the end of the day, this guy is more of a wrestler. He found a little power in his hands. He kind of took the chin of Andre Fiallo. You could argue that he's the one that broke the chin because I think he was the first one to knock him out, and then they just had like a 5-fight knockout loss streak. I think Francisco Prado is dangerous. I think that he's not new to the weight class. He's fought 170, he's fought 175, he's fought 165. His entire professional career before the UFC, he was just bouncing around weight classes, taking catchweight fights. He's just doing whatever he can to get a fight. I mean, it was very clear this guy just wanted to fight. He didn't care about the weight class. He didn't care who he was. This guy is a fight finisher. If he's going to win this fight, he's going to finish Jake Matthews, and I think he can do that. We actually used his fight against Zell Huber to break down the Esteban Ribovics fight. I was saying we can draw comparisons between the way Prado fights, the way Ribovics fights, and that's why we picked Esteban Ribovics. That's why we bet on Esteban Ribovics. And look how that worked out for us. It came through. And I think Prado can do it again. I think he's going to upset Jake Matthews here. I would not be surprised at all if he gets a knockout over Jake Matthews on the feet. Jake Matthews is going to get a little too comfy in the pocket. He's going to get blitzed by something fancy. Maybe a big uppercut, a lead uppercut into a cross, just something a little crazy. Drops him down, TKOs him on the mat. Give me Francisco Prado, round 2 knockout. I'm going to keep this one really straightforward. I'm never picking Jimmy Crute. That's going to stay true. Rodolfo Bellato, this guy also isn't good. I mean, his 2 losses are to Vitor Petrino. Both of them. I remember I was breaking down the Contender Series just kind of for myself. I wasn't making videos back then or anything because that was a few years ago, probably 2-3 years ago. I noticed the card. It was like the main event of this Contender Series card was a rematch, and I was confused. But yeah, I guess Rodolfo Bellato was knocked out against Petrino in the regional scene, then he got knocked out again on the Contender Series, and then he finally got another chance. I think it was even 2 seasons ago. It might have been 1 season ago, 2 seasons ago. This guy just doesn't fight. I don't know what he's doing. He's supposed to fight that French grappler dude, Omar Sy. He's supposed to fight Omar Sy, and then he just got injured, I believe. He's been out ever since then. Finally, he's coming in. I mean, this fight is like super low level. This is about the lowest of levels you can get. Give me Rodolfo Bellato by knockout, I guess. I don't know, man. Give me Bellato by knockout. I don't trust Jimmy Crute here. This fight right here, I do have a little bit to say about. We have Justin Tafa taking on Talison Teixeira. Now, I don't know if Justin Tafa's the good Tafa, the bad Tafa. They're both terrible. There is no good or bad Tafa. Okay, let's just get that straight right now. I think Justin's supposed to be the one that's a little bit better. But then again, you never really know. I mean, these guys both suck, man. Talison Teixeira, man. The Contender Series, this guy came in the most optimal situation. This guy has like all round 1 knockouts, all first-minute knockouts or something. This guy is just so unproven. He has the archetype of a guy that I would pick to get smoked on the Contender Series. But I couldn't do that because the guy he was fighting, Arthur Lopez, this guy was at like a 7 to 10 inch height disadvantage. The reach disadvantage was like another probably 10 inches. This guy had 1 fight in the last 6 years going into that Contender Series fight, and it was a 20-second knockout against a guy who was on like a 4-fight knockout loss streak. There was no way in the world Talison Teixeira should have lost that fight, and he didn't. He won that fight. Let's make that very clear. He didn't look good. He was getting hit. He didn't know how to use his reach. He had never, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like he had never used his reach in a fight before. He's so used to just walking to the center and then everyone getting caught on the end of his shots. Second, Arthur Lopez pushed into him a little bit, kind of closed the pocket. He had no idea what to do. He's getting hit. His head's flying, going side to side, up and down. And he only got hit with like 15, 20 strikes. And he didn't look good. If Justin Tafa is anything less than atrocious at fighting, he is going to knock Talison Teixeira out. But I don't know if I can trust Talison Teixeira or Justin Tafa. This is a fight I don't think you should bet on, but I'm just letting you guys know right now, I think Talison Teixeira is absolutely horrendous. I hope and I'm praying that he smokes Justin Tafa in like 30 seconds. So in his next fight against like a Waldo Cortez, he's just like a 10-1 favorite and he just gets grapple fucked. That's my dream. But I do think Justin Tafa's just slightly better than atrocious. So I think he can walk him down, push him against the cage, and land a big knockout shot. Maybe a body hook opens up the overhand right, and he just puts him down with that. Something I also would like to say, this guy's debuting on the main card of a pay-per-view. I don't know how familiar you guys are with that, but the last guy to do that, if I'm not mistaken, was Bo Nickel. The last guy to do that before Bo Nickel was CM Punk. So Talison Teixeira is in with some good company here. Hopefully he doesn't lay an egg, but I think he's going to. Tafa, round 1, knockout. Now this fight right here is one that I'm not seeing a lot of people agreeing with me. I'm seeing a lot of people taking Weili. People don't understand why Weili's a dog. Let me just tell you something right now. If Tatiana Suarez comes in even 70% healthy, 70% of what she could be, because her whole career has been riddled with injuries. If she comes in at even 70%, she's going to choke out Weili in the first 2 rounds. Weili is not, and I'm going to say this again, is not that good. She gets away with these performances that are pretty underwhelming given the fact there is nobody else in the division that can really contend. I mean, her last couple fights here, Yan Xiaonan, she got dropped by Yan Xiaonan. All she did was grapple her. Yan Xiaonan cannot grapple. I'm not saying Weili didn't do the right thing. She absolutely did, using her grappling to her advantage. Against Amanda Lemos cannot grapple. She got Russell fucked. It is what it is. Weili, again, did the right thing. I'm not hating on Weili. I'm not a Weili hater. I'm saying that people overhype her because of these performances against girls that can't do what she can do. Tatiana Suarez, the 115 division of the UFC, has never, and I mean never, seen a better wrestler than Tatiana Suarez. She has finished multiple former UFC champions. Finished Jessica Andrade, finished Carla Esparza, finished Alexa Grasso. Tatiana Suarez is a phenom on the mat, Olympic wrestler. She got a neck injury, probably like 10 years ago now. And when they went in to do all the scans and stuff, it revealed that she had cancer. She's overcome so much more than anyone else in the sport. She had knee surgery, overcome that. She's talking in interviews. Her wrestling career, it always taught her to be patient. Her Olympic career taught her to be patient. And she's not mad about the fact that even back in 2019, I believe, 2020 maybe, she was supposed to be in line for a title shot. She didn't get it because of the injuries, and now she's finally made it back to the top. And assuming she comes in even remotely healthy, I think Weili's done for. I don't think Weili's going to be able to keep the fight on the feet as long as she wants to. If Weili can manage to stuff the takedowns, she will win this fight, just by decision. But I don't think she can. Weili's 50% takedown defense isn't going to hold up against the best wrestler in this division's history. It just simply isn't. She just isn't able to stuff those takedowns, and Tatiana Suarez is going to have her way on the mat. Give me Tatiana, round 2 submission. Next fight up, Dricus du Plessis taking on Sean Strickland. Now this fight right here, a lot of people already seem to have their minds made up. Du Plessis is going to do it again, and I'm not here to tell you anything different. Dricus du Plessis is going to have his way with Sean Strickland. Strickland's style possesses this kind of it's awkward in nature is what I'm trying to say. He frustrates a lot of people. He doesn't let them get the forward momentum, the forward pressure, and he always walks them down. The way he beat Israel Adesanya is by walking him down. However, in that first fight, Dricus wasn't having any of that. Dricus walked Sean down the whole time, forward pressure, controlled the cage. He did that, and that's why Dricus won. A lot of people are saying it's the takedowns, it's this, it's that. The takedowns probably had a part in it, yes. It's also the fact that Dricus never stopped moving forward. Strickland was backing up the whole time. It's hard to fight when you're backing up the whole time. Paulo Costa found that out against Sean Strickland. But all I'm saying is Dricus has shown levels. He's evolving. After that win against Sean Strickland, he went even heavier on the wrestling against Israel Adesanya. Choked him out. Only person to ever do that. That's very, very impressive. He was handling his own on the feet. It was starting to look a little bad in that third, fourth round. but he got it done. Even in the fourth, he showed he just has the superior gas tank, and he just took down Izzy with relative ease and got that. Sean Strickland, on the other hand, this guy, no matter what his game plan is, even his coaches were talking about that. And that Alex Pereira training camp he had, they said it was the best he's ever looked in camp. He was wrestling with Magomed Ankalaev. He was taking down Ankalaev. He was doing all that. And then he went out there against Alex Pereira and laid an egg. He just didn't even shoot, didn't even reach. I think that's going to happen again. I think he can be training all this grappling, the grappling defense, all that. It's not going to matter. Even if they plan to offensively wrestle against Dricus, which I think is not a bad idea. I think a lot of people are kind of looking past that no one's ever done that. I mean, Dricus, he pulled side mount against, who was that, Darren Till, Brad Tavares, one of those two. Dricus tried a lat drop and he just pulled himself in the bottom side. So that was kind of funny. But I think the person who beats Dricus is going to be offensively wrestling against him. And that's why I'd pick Hamzat to beat Dricus. Because I think on the feet, you can't contend. Sean Strickland's the closest because he also just has this goofy ass stance. But I think Dricus is he's got the plot armor, man. I'm trying not to make my pick and my bet based off of the quote unquote plot armor. If you guys don't understand what that is, it's like the main character of a movie. They're always going to be in the danger. They're always going to be in these risky ass situations, but they're never going to die because they're essential to the plot of the movie. So you kind of know they're not going to die. I don't think Dricus is going to die. I think he's central to this UFC plot. They want Dricus. They want Hamzat. Sean Strickland's he's just kind of there. He's never really done anything. The UFC, probably the worst thing they ever did was give him a title shot because he beat Izzy and he stuck himself in this situation. I don't think he deserves to be here. Got that title shot off beating Abus Magomedov in his second UFC fight in the main event. I mean, what are we doing here? Give me Dricus to mix it up, to land the takedowns, and I'm thinking he's going to club Sean Strickland and then sub him on the ground. And Dricus by round 3 submission. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like. Let me know in the comments if my picks are shit, my picks are good, they're bad, whatever it may be. Make sure you join that Discord. We're printing money. Last UFC, we went up, I don't even know how many units. I think it was over 10 units. And that's not out of the ordinary. Last year we had a 16 event win streak. 16 profitable events in a row. We're going to keep on doing that, keep chugging this year. I hope to see you guys in the next one, man. Peace out.